Hello, my friends. Thanks for coming. I'm Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy. We have Carrie Roldan here, our amazing business BFF babe and certification coach. And today is going to be a little different, which I'm really excited about. So Carrie and I frequently coach each other. We talk the same language, and we really understand that we live in an attraction-based universe. It's always us. It's always our stuff showing up in the outside world. We know how to get to where we want to go the fastest, which is by focusing on what we want, not focusing on a problem. So we're really compatible in that way. And I mean, obviously we coach the people that work with us as well in the same way, but we can do it so fast with each other because we do speak that same language. And Carrie had a great idea. She thought today, maybe we could coach each other because so much has been coming up during the last few weeks for both of us. And I checked in my student Facebook group, and it seems like everyone's having a time right now. Even if they're getting through it fine, things are coming up for people. And, you know, maybe you can model what we're doing here. Maybe you want to join us in our coaching program, or maybe you just want to listen to some other people having a time and just getting some clarity on it. So the title of today's broadcast is It's Always You and Your Beliefs, or something like that. And it's not always easy to see in the moment, for sure, because it seems like, nope, it's really everybody else. I'm fine. So yeah, if you guys have any questions today about this topic or anything that comes up for you as we go along, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat. We love hearing from you, even if you just want to say hello. So yeah, Carrie, anything you want to add to this before we get going?
I'm kind of nervous. I'm nervous to coach in a situation where I'm aware that I'm being watched. And I'm also nervous to be coached in a situation where I know where I'm being watched. So I think it feels good just to say that out loud. And I know if you're watching, it feels good to know every time that I am like going through something, and then I hear that I'm not alone. I hear that like, oh yeah, like there's a bunch of people on the planet right now feeling that same thing. It helps me feel relief. It helps me, right? Which a relief is a good place to start from. And it helps me feel connected, right? In that I'm not just like solo I'm not disconnected from what's going on with everyone else on the planet. Even if what I'm going through feels terrible, somehow knowing, oh, I'm connected feels good. Or at least, again, it brings relief, it brings reassurance. So hopefully, and you guys are watching this, it might bring relief and reassurance to know that, you know, Rachel and I are continually up leveling, right? We're continually going through stuff. And what I went through, I am still going through, actually. Like what the thing that I'm hoping Rachel will coach me on, man, I felt sideswiped. Like I remember we just recently showed up on a call, and by the way, my dog is whining because there's food here next to me. So if you hear the whiny dog, it's because she would like some enchiladas. But I felt really sideswiped by, and I just want you guys to know this. It's part of us living our better and better and better and better life. You know, Abraham will use the word contrast to talk about like things in your life that show you where you want more, different, better. And so it doesn't ever stop. It's just, at least the way that it has happened for me, Rachel, is I tend to experience intensity. So like I recognized that this little hiccup that I'm going through right now, it feels very, very intense, but I used to feel like this all the time. Right. So the discomfort feels more because it's not where I live anymore. And it is exposing a bigger and bigger desire. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So, hi, those of you who are watching, and you want to jump into some stuff, Rachel?
Yeah, well, on that same vein, I just also want to add that it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You know, for a long time, I I think I did feel that way, like, oh, like what did I do now that I'm in this mess? Or like, what's wrong with me that I'm feeling this way? And now I told Carrie the other day, like, of course, I have initial reactions where I'm disoriented and I'm upset or sad or insecure or whatever, and that happens. But once I get my bearings, I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, let's let this go. This is exciting. It's like turbulence on the plane. Like I am a person who happens to enjoy turbulence on a plane because I feel really safe in planes. And we just get that little bump of like, ooh, yeah, this is cool. We're in the air. Like this is really, I don't know, I enjoy it. And that's really all this is. So when you keep up leveling, you keep moving through that turbulent air that you didn't even know was there because you were just living it. It was just your normal. And like Carrie's saying, once you separate yourself from that, all of this stuff falls away, but we're feeling it and we're seeing it as that happens. And that's really what we're going through right now. We are realizing we are more than our current situation. We have access to everything we desire, even if we don't know how to get there. And the stuff that's no longer resonant with that, all the limiting beliefs that we were holding on to, all the situations that no longer fit with where we are now, are settling out of our lives. And that can be very disorienting. But luckily, when you have someone to mirror with, it's a lot easier. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with me? Do you want to start with you?
Well, I want to start with that turbulence analogy. So, which is, thank you for that, because one, it really does help describe the feeling of like what we're going through, which we're all going through. Two, it's nice to remember most flights, there's some amount of turbulence, right? And think about like when airplanes first started flying in the sky, right? When people experienced turbulence, they thought they were going to freaking die. Like it was terrifying. Everybody needed barf bags. Like, and now when we fly, we just recognize like, oh, hold on to whatever's on your tray table. Like, ooh, this is and like Rachel, she kind of even enjoys it. Like when you get a big bump and your stomach drops like in a roller coaster, right? And so it's kind of my hope that if you are someone watching this who experiences turbulence in their life, like, holy crap, I'm going to die, bring me the barf bag, that you can take a deep breath and know it's kind of normal. Like any lifetime is going to have an amount of turbulence, and how you respond to it affects your experience a lot. So I don't care. I feel like something tells me you're supposed to go first, Rachel. So let's go.
All right. Well, I am excited to go first. So this actually came up today. I've been going through some stuff this week, but I feel really good about that now. And I was like, ooh, what am I gonna have Carrie coach me on? But the perfect thing. So I just got over a big limiting belief that I had to like keep my intuitive art brand a certain way. And yet I was building this other business separately, which I now realize it's all the same thing. It's all the damn same thing. The partner that I was building this with is like, oh my God, it's all the damn same thing. Like, we're really excited about expanding the intuitive art brand and bringing more of our art and personality into it, more fun, more education, like all the things. So that's incredible. And I think this is related. So I've always been an artist. I've always been a big thinker, wanting to like, I briefly wanted to be a model when I was like 10 or 11. And then when it came time to like, doing the headshots and calling the people and everything, I was like, no, this won't put me in the history books. Like I was that kid, right? So um, I think big, and I'm so moved by excellence. I'm sure Carrie loves that word. I'm sure Carrie can relate to that. Like when I go see a concert, I went to Roger Waters a couple years ago. He was a big part of Pink Floyd, if you know that band. Like one of the most influential, incredible bands of history. And I got to see him in his excellence and what he created, and music and art and fashion and people doing incredible things expression wise always moves me to be like, I want that. I want to be excellent. I want to make an impact. I want to make art that moves people and stays with people. And when I think of my best feeling, which is like my personal happy place, my personal best place that I try to go to as often as I can, to me, that's when I'm creating my art, that's how I feel. And when I'm thinking about this, of like, that's what I want, it's my best feeling, but even bigger. I think because I'm experiencing other people's impact when I'm thinking about this. So anyway, I get into this. Here's what I need to. I feel like I have done some of that. I feel like I have pieces of excellence under my belt, but on a regular basis, I think I'm playing in a smaller way. I think I'm doing things in my day that aren't that, and I want to increase my time spent in excellence, or at least attempting excellence. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I just unmuted and my dogs were going crazy. So
Okay.
Apologies if there's barking. Increase my time in excellence. Okay. So I'm going to recap what you said and then ask you some questions. So you said you just got over a big limiting belief, which is that intuitive art is separate from the other things you do business-wise. You said, I am an artist. I'm a big thinker. I want to be in the history books. I am so moved by excellence. I want to be excellent, to make an impact, to move people. I want my best feeling, but even bigger. I have pieces of excellence under my belt. I think I'm playing small. I want to increase my time in excellence. Anything else?
I think, well, I want all the things that come with that too. Like, I want to know other people who are excellent, and I want to have a connection with them, and I want to collaborate with them, and I just want to live in that world. You know what I mean?
Kind of. So who's in that world?
Like people that we would know, like artists that we would know. Like, I don't know specifically, but I mean, it's, yeah, see, I have a hard time admitting that, like, I want to have celebrity because of my particular kind of excellence, you know? Like, I want people to interview me about, oh, how did you write that scene? Like, what gave you the inspiration for that movie? Or why did you, use those colors there? Like, that's the life that I want.
Aha! Okay. So I've heard you dancing around. It's all intuitive art. And many of you who are watching understand the Intuitive Art Academy, or at least Rachel Archelaus, the Archelaus method of intuitive art. There might be many of you watching who are certified intuitive artists. There is also Intimate Alien. Is she part of intuitive art, Rachel?
Of course, yes.
There is Hello Love, which has been sort of your all-encompassing Rachel Archelaus brand. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that intuitive art?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now you are venturing into the world of, oh, and you have published works and you have been a publisher. Is that all intuitive art?
Yeah.
And now you are venturing into the world of screenplays, writing them for yourself and being a professional is it screenwriter or screenplay writer?
Screenwriter.
Okay. Is that all intuitive art?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what I am feeling in this is that playing small has been keeping intuitive art, keeping the method, right? Are you equating that with the ways that you're playing small?
Yeah, like, because in essence, I was making just the method more important than everything else, and really denying the fact that, like, I exist in that world too, you know? So, yes.
And I'm yawning. Obviously, if you're watching, you're seeing me yawning. I feel the need to announce the yawn. And there's this want for celebrity. Go ahead.
There is. And I think part of it, like, so Fiona Apple, one of my favorite artists, said this thing once. She was a prodigy, like a music prodigy growing up. She waited a long time to release her first album. People were knocking on her door wanting to, create this thing that she is. And she waited a long time, and she said she finally gave in because she wanted to make friends. Like, she wanted to meet people that would understand her. And like, that makes me emotional inside because I have a lot of people that understand me in my life who I love, but the most, like, growth, internal happy feeling I have is when I'm meeting other artists who do different things from me. And I feel like me being recognized for my artistry would make it easier for me to meet them. So it's not like I want, like, fame necessarily, although I'm not opposed to it. I want to be put in that arena.
Ooh, I just love that you said in that arena, right? Like, there's this, if you know that whole daring greatly thing. Do you know the whole daring greatly thing? Okay, so the fact that you, Freudian or not, like, slipped into being in that arena. I love that. Okay, so I want to go back just a second. One, I want to acknowledge that feeling that, like, you get emotional when you hear about Fiona Apple, who I don't know a ton about her. I remember her. It seems like she was very young when things happened. But either way, that the feeling, the connection that you have with her is that through her work, right? And so through her artistry and sharing who she is, which I guess is the same. Through her artistry, so through experiencing her work and experiencing her celebrity, right? Because she wouldn't be interviewed if she wasn't a celebrity. You find deep connection, resonance, inspiration. And you would like to instill that feeling in other people because it makes you re-experience that feeling. Am I on the right path?
I hadn't thought about it that way. I was just resonating with her, like, the reason she wanted exposure was to also find that connection with other people who are like her.
Well, so that's what I'm getting at is in the arena.
Yeah.
Right. You are getting to the place where you're recognizing I want to be famous so I can hang out with Oprah and the Queen, right? Or whoever is your, now I'm quoting Bruno Mars, whoever is your dream circle.
Yeah.
So what's stopping you from doing that now?
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like, oh, I've had glimpses of this. I've had industry recognition in some of my art for as long as I've been doing it. Like all the different kinds of art that I do, it seems to really work out for me. Like, and I don't know if I have beliefs that because I'm doing so many different kinds of things that I'm not going to get there, or that I don't spend enough time on it. That's part of it. Like I do a lot during the day of, frankly, like I don't spend as much time on my art as I would like, but I accept also, like, I don't have to work on it 24 hours a day to like make amazing things. The amazing things that I have made have been like flash, there it is. It's a couple hours in it. Like, so I know time isn't necessarily tied to this, but I think there's just still some stuff in my head that makes me feel separate from that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And I'm going to yawn again. I love that you said, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. And then already got that, like, oh, but I don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Actually, like my genius comes in quick flashes. And so I wanted to make that distinction that spending time on it is because it creates that best feeling for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to acknowledge that there's spending time on it is more about spending time in your best feeling than it is about I need to spend time on it for magic to happen.
True. Mm-hmm.
And then I want to go back to you in the arena with the other amazing people, right? Because I want to acknowledge the places where you're already there, and I want to help you realize how and where you're already there. So, do you take screenwriting classes? Have you taken screenwriting classes?
Yeah, lots.
And have those exposed you to people who inspire you and have influence in that world?
Yes.
And has being a part of that helped you marinate in excellence?
Yes.
And in your online entrepreneurship and coaching world, have you found friends, acquaintances, people in that realm that you recognize, ooh, they are operating in excellence?
Yes.
And do you have those people that you have even on your client list? So you have people who you recognize are playing at the level that you want to play at, or even at a level that you aspire to, who see you as someone that they seek for guidance and coaching and inspiration.
Yeah. And actually that kind of brings something up that I think maybe is, so all my life people have assumed that about me. And maybe because they see something, maybe I'm exposing myself here and then I don't see it, but I do see it. But I don't know, like sometimes I feel like people are like, why aren't you there yet? Or yeah, I know. Or like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a thing. It's really a thing.
So that's showing up in your experience that other people are saying, Rachel, you're amazing. You belong in the history books. You are a trendsetter. You are a pioneer. You are ahead of the curve. You are the Elon Musk of the world that you operate in? Is that showing up in your experience?
Yeah, which means it must be me, right? Because it's all me.
Well, so all of it's you, right? So the part where people like me are telling you that, because I was like, if it's not showing up in your experience, Rachel, here it is in your experience right now. And the you that is not wanting to let that in. Right. So let's test that out. When I say, Rachel, you are you are a cinematic genius. Does that go in?
Halfway.
Rachel, you are a legend in the making. Does that go in?
Not completely, no.
Rachel, you are an innovation in the art world. Does that go in?
More so than the rest, yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure we get one that like really goes in. And for people who are watching, when we say does it go in, we mean like, can you receive that fully in your body? Rachel, you are a genius. Does that go in? Okay. Here we are. Rachel, you are a genius. So the people that you're imagining in your inner circle, in the arena that you're in with, like Fiona Apple, I don't know anybody else who I think you said the Pink Floyd guy. Are they geniuses?
Yeah.
And are they continually up-leveling? I see you.
I think so.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know.
So I wanted to take a different angle because I just want to tell you, I want to affirm you, and let's just see how much goes in. So Rachel, you are a genius. You are uniquely created for continual excellence. Is that going in? I can see it in your face. You have so many plates spinning. And that in itself requires excellence. And focus and precision and the word up level has come to me every single time that I want to utter something out of my mouth. Up leveling, focusing, rebalancing, readjusting. Up leveling, focusing, rebalancing, readjusting. Can you connect that with excellence? I want to go to the word impact because you talked about that earlier. Have you been told in your life that sharing your work, your method of intuitive art, these videos on YouTube, that they have impacted other people? Made them feel that Fiona Apple feeling of connection, inspired other people with the level of excellence. Just feeling into what you need to hear. Well, how are you feeling now?
Good. Yeah. Good as in like, it's all me. And if I choose to calibrate to this feeling more often, I will naturally find myself doing the things in this vibration more. So it's really just about, I haven't made it my set point yet. So I'm not spending the majority of my day there, but all it takes is reminding myself that this is where I want to be and I'm capable of this. And then that sparks.
And you're doing it already. This is what I want you to know. You are, I mean, we haven't even talked about your books and the that best-selling and critical acclaim. And like there is this story in you, and I know that it lives in you because it also lives in me, but there's a story around what excellence looks like. Yeah. And so I want you to look in the mirror every morning and be like, that right there is what excellence looks like, right? Even when your hair is crazy or you recognizing, or when I looked at myself this morning, and you need to hear this because everyone, Rachel and I right now are wearing the same thing. I don't know what you've got on the bottom, but sweatpants. Okay. So now I'm going to shift gears a little bit and just tell a story, but there's a story for me that like showing up on camera in sweatpants is, unprofessional, or certainly someone who is where I am financially or aspires to be where I am financially, or someone who is where I aspire to be financially doesn't dress like this, doesn't show up like this. And as I was getting ready to do this live stream today in this awesome sweat outfit with my dirty hair pulled back in a ponytail, I was putting on some mascara and lipstick because I do have standards, people. And I looked at myself in my sweats and went, man, I look like Rachel today. And inside, I felt like this is the kind of excellence I want to be living, right? This is like, look at me. I didn't tell myself the story, look at me in my frumpy sweatpants. I was like, look at me, dude. I'm playing Rachel's game. So I wanted to let you know, right, that is influence that you've had on me, that I'm able to perceive myself in my sweats as someone who is in her power, someone who is, like playing in the bigness of who I am, because I see you publicly playing in the bigness of who you are in your sweatpants, making a massive impact in your sweatpants, living the screen writer. So, what do I want to do right now? I don't know if I'm going to slip from, well, I guess we should just talk about this. This is what it looks like to coach with me, is a little bit of question asking, a little bit of calibrating, and a whole lot of dream casting, a whole lot of moving your energy into the energy of the life that you dream about and beyond. All of this is about letting it in, right? It's about expanding the Rachel container to hold. And why we're experiencing turbulence, right? I'm thinking about a snake shedding its skin right now, right? It's like, ooh, I've outgrown this container. And so I got to like wiggle out of this uncomfortable one and step into the bigger energy, like the energy that, Rachel, you talk about, catching up with yourself. So Rachel,
cut you off there because that was perfect, because the snake doesn't shed its skin and then have to look for another one. The new skin's already there. You guys get that? Is that the shedding happens automatically? Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. We don't really know, but for us it is sometimes. But you're already in the new. You don't have to go find it. You don't have to do any, you don't have to become a different person, because it's all one big maneuver. You've already grown into the new when you've shed the old.
Yes. And so I've never used a snakeskin analogy before, but I love that it was that way. I used to talk about it as like, you've got this favorite coat, right? And when you got it, it was like the best. You loved it so much. It felt like so soft, and so it was like so luxurious. And then you wore it every day, and it's like full of your sweat and your dead skin. You wore it every day for 10 years, say, and your dead skin cells, and you went swimming in it, and you like took showers in it, and there's like and that coat is now unsightly and heavy, and it's not working for you the way it was when you put it on the first time. You just hadn't thought to take it off. And so then that day when you go take it off, not only does it feel like you had no idea you were carrying around this heavy weight because you just gotten used to it, but you had no idea that underneath you were wearing like a glitter speed suit, or, like you had you totally forgot that underneath that amazing coat was like your perfect. I always picture like Diana Ross glitters. So anyways, if that works better than the snakeskin analogy, you can go with that. Okay, so all I want to do in these last couple of minutes, Rachel, is just remind you of the truth of you. So first, you are complete and lovable as you are. Second, you cannot, it is impossible for you to want that more of that feeling, it's impossible for you to want the impact on yourself, the feeling that will come from external validation in whatever form you're wanting right now, right? Hanging out with I don't want to say the pretty people, the geniuses. It's impossible for you to want that feeling without it already being there. Without that already being your truth. You cannot, we know you can't have a desire, a spark of a feeling inside of you without that simultaneously resonating with the truth of who you are, right? That feeling comes from resonating with the truth of the bigness of you. So you, my friend Rachel Archelaus, can relax. You can take a deep breath. You can choose to remember, this is who I've always been. I've always been a celebrated genius. I've always been someone who hangs with the excellent people. I am continuously in my life given moments and glimpses, and so continuously that I've forgotten how many celebs and geniuses I literally already hang out with, that are already in my Rolodex, that I have access to, that I have interviewed, that have interviewed me. And that every time that I remember and allow myself to re-experience that feeling, I'm activating a newer, better, up-leveled, more expansive invitation of that into my life. There's something else that wants to come through, Rachel, which is just, it's you. It's you in all the ways. It is you in that what I'm hearing, what I heard at the beginning of the call is that it was you blaming yourself for not being there yet. Right? That's the place where we go to when we're in our crap. I freaking know it's me. Why is it like, and so I just want you to flip the switch, because on the other side of that, it's me is, oh, it is me. This thing that I want is me. It is calling to me. It is inviting me. It is reminding me that it is me. It is me. And how do I want to handle the turbulence? Do I want to blame myself and vomit? Or do I want to relax and enjoy the ride because I know where this plane is headed?
I love that.
How are you feeling now?
I feel so much better because I really know that, like, everything you said is true. Like, I'm already here in a big way, and my plane is still going. And I get to relax and do the work and expression that I really want to do. And I'm on, like, I'm there and I'm continuing to be on my way there. Thank you. It was really weird to do, like, in front of everybody, but not so much. Like, it was really cool.
I think it was really, so thank you for like doing that with me. It was weird for me too. And we can probably keep talking about it. So funny. It's so funny how
11 in my time zone.
Oh, it's 12:11. So in one more minute, it will be 12:12. Oh, thank you. So our comments are that they are loving this.
Thanks, Maria.
Yeah.
Which one?
I know.
Got two cool glasses here.
Rachel's super hydrated. Mm-hmm. Look at her glowing skin. How could you not be? And that is something, actually, the radiance that is coming up. I know that you, every time I mention it, you're like, oh yeah, it's my lighting. But like, you literally glow, right? You are radiance embodied. I talked about the glitter suit, right? And I'm looking at the glitter behind you, and like, people, when we think about celebrity and like the shiny people, right? Like, you are that now. You are that now.
Actually, yeah, in our two BFFs ago, Carrie runs a mastermind that I'm part of. One of our friends told me that I looked like Emma Stone in the moment, and I was like, whoa, nobody's ever said that before. So I think other people are feeling where, like, this thing that I'm in right now, where I do feel so much better, recognize, and this is with all of us. If whatever we want more of, we need to recognize and appreciate what we already have. That is that. I heard that loud and clear, and I'm going to add that to my appreciation every day of like, oh my God, isn't this so amazing that I already have this in my life, you know?
And if we're talking about like the, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever, like, Rachel, you have access, not only because you're super psychic and literally have access to everything, which we all do, but like, you have energetic access, and you literally have people in your life that have access to the people who you think you need to be surrounded. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about where you were as a little girl, saying like, oh, that won't put me in the history books. And then recognizing like, it would feel good to be appreciated by the people who I appreciate, right? Like, I mean, what makes you think that they don't already know? Like, what makes you think that you're not their next phone call? What makes you think that they're not like that? Like, you are, if you are not yet sharing breathing space with those people, you are sharing breathing space with people who share breathing space with those people. Like, you know where the plane is headed. Oh, it's really cool. That's cool for me to think about. It's so fun having been part of each other's journeys, right? Because all of us, when we're in it, we completely forget. Like Rachel, because we're constantly up leveling. Rachel forgets where she was when we first met, unless I remind her, like I forget. Obviously, we're not going to have time to do my coaching while we're live on this call. Don't worry, I'll take advantage when we hang up, Rachel. But like, what I would have been going through is the same thing. Like, I had to kick myself this morning and be like, wow, isn't it interesting that the same discomfort that I'm feeling around, because part of me, okay, we're going to spend the 5 minutes talking about me now or more, but part of me is kicking myself. So one, we should all know, right? It helps us to help each other, which is why being part of a mastermind or a coaching group is a really valuable thing to be. So let's just plug right now, intuitiveart.com/membership is where you get to be a part of the deeper level of what Rachel and I are doing right now. So if this is feeling good, go there, intuitiveart.com/membership.
Yeah, just give them an extra thing because I feel like today's a special day. If you guys want a discount, use code EASE. Yeah, I don't throw these out very often, but thank you for, like, I feel like we're in this like sacred space right now together, everybody. So if you want a discount, intuitiveart.com/membership and use EASE. So there you go.
Oh, well, that makes it easy, doesn't it? That makes your decision easy. Okay, so this is what I was grappling with myself this morning, was recognizing, oh, I'm in the same freaking place, right? Like, I thought I was so done with this. Like, are you kidding me? Because where I've pinpointed, which Rachel is privy to the whole story, which I'm not going to tell you, but it was like I was so entrenched in an uncomfortable situation. And I was like, and then I was like this, and she was like that. And can you believe, and this phrase, can you believe she said that? And like, right. And Rachel so lovingly is like, and it's all you. And I'm like, I know. And why am I still doing this to myself? Are you freaking kidding me? I'm still in this place. Like, by the way, have you noticed, like, is in my coaching role, I was like, so like receiving Rachel's stuff, and now in my own stuff. Like, this is all of us. Anyways, this morning I've been doing the work of relaxing. It was initially like I couldn't even find, I just had to feel into the awfulness of the feeling and let the awfulness kind of consume me so that I could breathe my way past it. And that isn't a place where I felt like I had to go in a really long time, like actually just descend. And anyways, I did come out of the other side, or at least calibrated myself enough to be able to find a new perspective. And I say calibrated myself enough, but you better believe I have, I reached out to Rachel and was like, can you help me calibrate? And so my new level of the old story has been, I still don't know how to, I'm still stuck on quantifying my value. So something came up this morning. It reminded me a while back, I did some work for someone, and they were like, great, how much is this? How much do you want? And I couldn't even freaking answer the question. It like took me on this, like, and so I'm going to ramble for a minute. I have allowed so much abundance in my life. And I have like been in places where I've been super clear and been like, this is what I expect. This is what I want. And it has come. And so this was a weird thing. I was probably about 6 months ago now, where I did like this tiniest bit of work for someone, and they were like, thank you so much. How much can I pay you? And I was like, you couldn't pay me enough. Like, I mean, it's invaluable. What I did for you is going to make you millions of dollars. So pay me millions of dollars or don't pay me at all. Like, I was, Rachel's remembering when I was there. And I'm finding that I'm there again, where I have someone who's very much loving me, being like, I would like to give you more. And I'm like, there's just not, you just can't ever pay me enough for what I'm doing. So in our 5 minutes, I don't think I need, I don't think you can like actually, maybe you can in 5 minutes coach me through, but perspective would be appreciated.
I mean, I think you're wearing the perspective. Should we both stand up? So I am surrounded by artists, and I'm surrounded by people who I coach, and they're trying to develop consulting services from their years and years of knowledge doing what they do. And they're so excited about it that they would do it for free. And I have to help them put a number to it. It's different with every single person. And it's not because you have to charge money for that. It's just because they still do pay for food, right? Like, it's not like they just don't have a bank account of millions of dollars where they could choose not to do that. So it's a part of the equation. But the fact that they're so excited about it, they would do it for free, tells you a lot, right? They're going to give you lots of value. They're going to be excited. They're going to inspire you to do what you want to do when you're talking to them. And we all want to be surrounded by those people. Now, it's not to say that if you begrudgingly show up to something or you feel like you need millions of dollars in order to feel valued, you won't inspire and you won't give great. But who's paying the price for that then? You. If you aren't energetically filled up by what you're doing, you're paying a price. And no amount of money can fill that up. And that's why you want all the money, because you think the money makes it okay. And it does, sure, it's your choice. But your higher self is tasked with guiding you to where you really want to go, right? Your higher self, by how you feel, is like, okay, you really ultimately want to be here. And so I'm going to help you get there by giving you options that feel better than other things. And that really good feeling option is going to get you to where you really want to go the fastest. If you really don't feel like doing something, then you are veering off on your own path and your brain is making you think that that's really the way to go. Otherwise, why would you do it? If it doesn't feel as good, why would you go there? Because your brain is giving you some reason that feels really important. So you can choose to go with whatever your brain is concocting, or you can choose to go with the path of higher self-alignment, knowing that that's really sending you to where you ultimately want to go fastest, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment.
Okay, so I can draw some connections, and I think we can talk about this after our hour, when we're not public. But it does bring something up about, and I'm hopeful that a lot of people watching, maybe this is something that you deal with. So this particular thing we're talking about, oh my God, it feels amazing to do. It feels incredible. Like I am freaking filled up in the moment of doing it, right? When I am fully present and getting to share myself and my gifts and talents and genius and passion in that way, it feels amazing. I think that I would do that for free all day long. So I am one of those people who's like, oh, you know what we should do? Right? Like I can run away with the feeling, the idea of the feeling. And that is where I think I am in this situation. And the other side of that stick is like, ugh. So that something about ease in that same is like, oh, that is amazing when I get to do that. And the price. I got to rearrange my life. I got to be away from my kids. I got to and so I am finding that so interesting is like when we talk about do only what you love, like, oh, I freaking love it. I love showing up in my genius, and there's a price. And so what I would love to explore is it a price I actually have to pay, or am I just making it all up? Rachel's nodding.
Yeah, because, and you've been helping me with this year, so maybe flipping it on me will give you more perspective. I want to be spending more time in my art, right? whatever art I choose for that day. And I also run a business, and that takes a lot of time, even though I have help. So what do I do? Right? Yeah. I mean, I haven't totally figured that out yet, but it means enough to me. It makes me happy enough to keep doing it, to do it. It's not something I dread. It's just something I know the ratios could be better. The ratios could change. And now we know how, by me actually like seeing that I'm already doing a lot more than I think I am. So.
And the things that you are doing more than you think that they are, if that makes sense. Like there's this ripple effect. I keep seeing you with all the plates and you're like, and that each of those plates has its own like vortex around it, that once you get it spinning, it's doing its own thing. It's putting that out there.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm really, as a coach, finding interesting though is if you really are looking forward to this event, this thing that you're going to be doing, then that momentum would make it easy to rearrange yourself to be there. So there is resistance here that's coming up. So I think choosing, how do I want to feel ultimately? How do I want to feel? Because right now I'm making things difficult so that I can get what I think I want. Money. I'm trying to justify why I need to make more, is what I'm really hearing. Because if it's really that enlightening to you and enlivening to you, it would be easy to be there. You know, like the plane ticket would buy itself. The babysitters would be on speed dial. Like it wouldn't be that hard. Are you trying to justify your desire to feel good and to just show up in your genius and it be easy for you?
Okay, say that again. So when you said, how do you want to feel? The interesting word came up because it was appreciated, which is not this. Is that even a feeling that I can feel?
Well, if you're talking about from yourself, I mean, you can feel appreciated from
Bingo. Because I'm like, if I'm feeling appreciated, that's why I'm equating it with money, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm freaking awesome. So great at this. And you couldn't possibly pay me enough. So at least pay me quadruple of what you think you should. You know what I mean? Like that's where I am. And of course I'm going to feel that way. If I am, I'm getting like, I'm having a little moment here. The image I'm getting is like a wellspring, like the fountain, like coming up from inside. Duh. Like I'm wanting people to just keep pouring water on me, and I'm like this like continuous sandy vacuum, you know? And yeah, thank you. I'm getting it. I don't yet quite know what to do, but that's okay. It will come. Or even better, I won't have to do anything. Literally, my life will rearrange itself. That's what usually happens.
Well, I'll leave you all with this quote, which I just thought about this morning and yesterday. Like, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. But I like to say, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from yourself. And that's exactly what Carrie brought me to as well. So yeah, for that.
Oh, thank you. Duh, we've both been doing it.
Yeah. And let us know, guys, have you done this too? Emma said, listening has helped me analyze my thinking process of myself. Yeah, that's what we were hoping for. I mean, and not that anyone, you're all perfect, but I know watching this kind of stuff really helps me too.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, when you were like, when I was like, oh, let's do live coaching, and you were like, oh my God, that's the best idea ever. I was like, oh no. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And it is always us and our beliefs. And I think there's this tendency to be like, what belief do I have to change? What belief is wrong? What belief do I have to get rid of? But really, at the end of where we both got to is like, oh, I just have to appreciate myself more. Self-love, remembering the truth of who I am.
Yeah. That's everything. Absolutely everything, because we're the creators. We decide if we're open or closed. We're going to open things up, let ourselves be shining stars of our own lives, and we can only do that internally. Well, we are at time. Thank you all so much for being here and witnessing that. Like I said, if you want to get this for 3 monthly calls and over a dozen courses on all kinds of subjects, go to intuitiveart.com/membership and then use code EASE for 20% off. Yeah.
Easy.
Ease.
Easy and abundant and incredibly supportive. Like I always talk about when you level up, the universe rises up to meet you. And this, I feel like this is that moment. Like somebody who is watching has like been looking for this and they're like, easy. Like, yes, thank you. So you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. And welcome. All right. Well, have a wonderful week, everyone. We will not be here next week. I will be on vacation. And I'll come to you the next week with a dear friend, Sherry, who's a multi-book author and founder of the Love List and all kinds of, she's amazing.
One of those amazing people that we get to hang out with.
Exactly. Yes. True. New York Times author. Yeah. Incredible woman. All right. Love you all. We'll see you then. Bye.